Hey, welcome. Welcome. I haven't got a clear screen yet, but it says it's live. And got a clear screen. Got one person here. I'm checking for audio. I got the audio. All right, audio's here. Video's here. I'm here. And those of you that can't catch the live, I hope you do catch this talk because this should be um, a very good talk for empowering you and the Americans and the way of life. So um, now, Monday, I do believe it was Monday. If I have the day wrong, my apologies for that. But what the hell is today? I think it's Saturday, 22nd. And yep, that is Saturday. Oh, yeah, 17th was Monday. I remember the 17th. Um, the 17th was the day that I contracted as sovereign um, 6 times with the Kalkaska post office. And a lot happened that day. A lot happened that day. And so there's so much to talk about um, that is very pertinent. Now, I'm 65 years old. I have been babbled my entire life. I have yet to do the math to verify over 500 trillion vowels in a 6-word sentence. And it's something I intend to do. Um, and I'm just so blown away at how difficult it is to communicate some of the simplest things with what I would consider some very intelligent men, both men and women. Um, so right now, I'm going to talk specifically about this federal prosecutor. Um, I had a conversation this morning. I was hoping it would be a much more evenly vibrationed but it wasn't. And so it's, I'll just say it's odd. And you know, I would think that at some point somebody might say, "Hey, Ethan, I'm pretty impressed with what you've done. You've done a lot. I think you could use some help." But it's more like, why haven't you done this? And why haven't you done that? And why don't you do this? And it's, Ethan, you do everything. All right. So I'm going to get back to that. There's a lot to unpack there. But I want to drill in on this prosecutor. Your rights are unalienable, unalienable, indefeasible, and anything repugnant must be abrogated if it goes against any of your rights. Not you want to know what those rights are. Well, you can start gaining that knowledge in the Bible, the Quran, and state constitutions. All right, unalienable, unalienable, indefeasible, and they cannot be abridged. They cannot be shortened. The right to bear arms shall not be infringed. None of your rights are to be infringed. Any infringement on your rights is a trespass. So that's established. Now, we do have society. For society to function, people would come together. They would make agreements about how that society is going to function in their neighborhood. And everybody's private business is still their private business because that's the way it is. So that is certainly not for me to decide what your neighborhood is like. See, you need to own your authority, people. And you establish that. But whatever you do, you cannot infringe on another man's rights. And pretty much, oh my goodness, the list of infringements on your rights is so long, it's pointless to go into it. And I talked about the Michigan man who says that, sooner or later, the people are going to realize it's martial law. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep playing with the bar attorneys because they're coming out of retirement and we got 6 people indicted. And, it's like, just, okay, go play treason. Go play treason. Keep paying those British agents. What does that do for you and your freedom? All right. How are you going to hold these people to account? Now, your unalienable, indefeasible rights is one of them to protect yourself. Is that not a right of yours to protect yourself? How about to protect your friends and family? All right. Well, a long time ago, people decided that there would be some type of judgment and it would be carried out in this fashion or that fashion. So you've had your hierarchies of all kinds. We, the people, we are the hierarchy, but we have been enslaved. So you've been enslaved and brainwashed and dumbed down and indoctrinated. And so to learn your rights, read books like the Bible, the Quran, read documents like your state constitutions. And in 3 of the state constitutions, I find language with regards to the courts and you as prosecutor for your cause cannot be denied. And you can do that by yourself or with the aid of a counsel, whether that man calls himself a lawyer or an attorney or a counsel. But I don't think you want a British agent. No. No, you don't. We don't want no British agents. So now I'm gonna talk a little bit more. You see about the court. So the People's Court has been stolen. And what the people think of as courts is an absolute illusion and a bastardization because they're not courts. Whether they call themselves federal courts or county courts or private courts. They're all corporate courts. They're all fraudulent courts. Whether they're federal, it doesn't matter. Federal corporation. So after the phone conversation had many other things, which I'm going to try and get back to if my mind will focus. But it led to, it actually led to me saying, you have exhausted me, and I'm going to have to say goodbye. So I didn't just hang up. I gave an explanation. I've been doing a lot, beyond all the downloading and uploading of the videos, beyond having the boys here for a couple of days, beyond what I did in Kalkaska, beyond. All right. So, Ethan can't do everything. So I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this text. It's to me. Starts in fraud, ends in fraud. You got too busy to listen to anyone else. Just like now, you're too busy to listen to anything else outside of your own voice. Well, look, brother, you brought up a lot of points and I answered them one by one, but you never gave acknowledgement to that. You just went on to the next one and the next one and the next one and the next. And I gave you a very satisfactory answer to all of them, as I'm going to give a very satisfactory answer to this one. And for the people's benefit. This is for the people's benefit, for everyone that's tuning in, for your knowledge. But you got to know that knowledge without action is going to yield you exactly nothing. And could possibly be very detrimental and allow many bad things to happen or continue to happen, depending on your particular situation. Goes on to say, I'm not attacking you, brother. Yet every time, or did I already read that? Okay, no, maybe not. I'm not attacking you, brother. Yet every time I talk to you and it's something is difference of opinion, you throw up a wall as if you know everything and nothing anyone else suggests could be true or may need looked into. I don't think that's me. I don't think that's a description of me at all. However, everyone's entitled to their opinion. This goes on to say, God made law before man made anything, which means contract does not make law. And then he throws in a link and says, see that link, and it's about social contract theory. And then says, I have not listened to your messages. I think it was rude to not listen and blame me for hanging up on me. Be safe. All right. Now, there's another one. It says, the military will be cleaning this up. Their order goes till September 12th, 2023. By you and your express consent, you have made yourself part of their current bullshit, and you should be cautious. Claiming to be anything federal makes you at risk to their roundup if that's how it all plays out. Military tribunals. All right. You see, I talk about the need for critical thinking. Somehow, this man thinks that I have positioned myself in the corrupt, corporate, federal bullshit. playing with British agents and bankers and enslaving man. How could you possibly come to that? How? Over here, say, what do I want to do? Here's America. You got fiction, fraud, enslavement. You got free public. I stand over here in a federal capacity, and somehow that means, oh, you're over here. Oh, Ethan, you dumb fuck. No, not even close. That's your disconnect. Now, we are Americans, United States of America, we the people. United States of America is a nation of nations. What are the three branches of government? What are they? Executive, legislative, and judicial. What's the highest level of government? Federal. But the only thing you can think of federal is the United States or the United States of America. You can't even possibly consider that you have all power. You are the highest authority. You stand in the highest capacity if you own your authority. You have the right to prosecute in any of the courts your own cause. Why would you take a lower position than federal? That's the highest position in government. That's the highest position we the people established. Now, possibly there's a way to get out of the babble and into the quantum with this. So, because I've spoken a hell of a lot more than 6 words, and if there's over 500 trillion variables in a 6-word sentence, then what the hell did you get out of this talk? Are you on my wavelength? Lord have mercy. Found my eye aids. Oh, here we go. You are claiming it and it's fraudulent. You never had anyone administering your oath. Fraud. I didn't take an oath, Josh. Oh, sorry. I didn't take an oath. I stepped into a position in a now time, in a now space, in a public court, a court of record. And I took a position, the position of executive emergency manager. That can translate to executive manager. That can translate to emergency manager. I stepped into that position. And from my previous court cases, with all the evidence that I collected and the pleas of treason, I opened up court again in that position. And I ordered Camp Grayling to readiness. I ordered 3 garrison commanders to report to duty. And I was explaining, you have a YouTube channel. You can explain this to the people. He wants to know how I can claim it. He says, you have to do it like Derek Johnson. It has to, it has to be on a .mil site. Why? Why do I have to do like Derek Johnson? All I'm trying to do is share what I've done and the power that it gives me. And the responsibility that goes with this. I have not stepped down and I have not backed down. And I'm not gonna. I know who I am. I know my authority. And all I was trying to explain was you, the fellow I was talking with, you have a channel. You have a lot more viewers, subscribers than I do. You could interview me. You could come on my channel. Maybe we could do it live together. Can't do that. And then this goes into this big old long thing that he could have just said, I would need to get another phone. I only have one phone. I only have one device. All right. And then that would have been good. Or then we could have just, okay, we're on the same vibe. All right, cool. Otherwise, you would just have to call in and I'll go live and you call in. Oh, but man. So once I got past that, then it was just like jumped right into the next thing. And then the next thing, and then the next thing. And so like, Ethan, I don't understand. He said, how far are you from town? 8 miles. Well, I don't understand why you're not out there putting up posters. Oh my goodness. All right. I've explained this in many different ways, and so I'll give some real clarification to this. I was in town, white shirt, federal prosecutor with 2 other men. I went into the office supply store. Nobody asked a question. Nobody would engage. I went into the library where I'm well known, and with the other 2 guys, all 3 of us wearing our shirts. And well, we had the greetings, and that was about it. I spent over a half hour in there, and nobody engaged or asked a question. All right. Then over to the post office. And it wasn't until I got out of the car with the camera and the briefcase and one man's driving by in the parking lot and stopped and made a comment. And I took opportunity. I have no idea what he said, but I took opportunity. He engaged. I went over. I talked. We must have talked for 15 minutes. He took notes. All right. Then we're inside and Deputy Dog shows up. And when Deputy Dog shows up, the girls go running. And yet customers are coming in. Well, why did the girls go run? Why did they abandon their post? Well, I don't know. But see, the point is that eventually a long line, well, for the Kalkaska post office, I don't know, 7, maybe more people, maybe 10, maybe 6, a fair amount of people anyways. And when I said, as part of my things that I was saying, Judge Lynn M. Boudet and human trafficking, the eyes got really big. on those people. Their heads turned. Do you think that now they have just completely forgot about that? Or do you think they think about it? Do you think maybe they've even had a conversation with somebody else here locally? But I have said over and over and over, talking with people, approaching people and talking with them, you just get the deer in the headlights look. And they don't get it and they won't engage. So they have to be shown. Me walking 8 miles one way and putting up posters, I don't think is going to get people to engage. Not from my experience. And it subjects me to 16 miles of walking where I can be targeted. And I'm a very targeted man. All right. When I'm in town, subjects me to whatever kind of fuckery they want to put on, and I've got no witnesses and no bodyguards. So some Masonic fuck's got a business and makes a phone call and wants me trespassed, and the motherfucking thugs come. They fucking got my camera disabled, whether it's on or it's off, and boom, there I go. I'm in a fucking rape cage. I'm not making these videos. I'm not talking to you. I'm not exposing their shit. At some point, people, you're going to have to own your authority, which is going to take me right back to the top of this. The military will be cleaning this up. Their order goes till September 12th, 2023. Oh, then what? Oh, you just want to be under military law? You want the military supervising you, giving you your fucking toilet paper and your food? Jesus. The T-Man said he's giving the power back to the people. The system's going down. It's reconstitution, devolution. When are you going to own your authority? No, okay, so now just sit on your ass and wait for the military. They'll clean it. I don't have to do nothing. Then I'll just be a military slave because I'm not going to become responsible. No, I'm not going to become responsible for myself. I refuse to become responsible for myself now and then. So there, Ethan, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Man, I have, and I'm having a hard time with it. I am. I'm having a real hard time with it. There's 2 people here, maybe more. You got a comment or a question, please throw it in the live chat. All right, so let's see. So I guess that's about it there. I guess that's about it. I have done a lot. I think I've done more than anybody that I know. By a long shot. So you see, what I want is, now that these people have been served, I have not checked on the tracking because it doesn't matter. I don't care. They were served the minute the post office contracted with me. Yeah. And now we have documented many ththings about the issues with the post office and prepaid first class mail. In there, they think they can make up the rules as they go. You got all these employees that don't know their job. So there's a few things I've mentioned I'm not going to talk about right now. I'm going to talk about real soon. But you see, right now would be a really good time for a concerned man, male or female, a slave, in the private, an independent journalist, a First Amendment auditor from anywhere in the world to make phone calls to the Kalkaska County Sheriff's Department. And you can be very cordial, and the person answering the phone, you can explain what you witnessed, and you could ask, does the one called for the human trafficking have a comment for the record? See, the people below them need to know what's going on, and they need to know just how culpable they are from the standpoint that they've done it. And if they continue to do it when they have knowledge, I don't think there's any saving them then. Is there? So do you see the power in that? Do you see the power in educating these people? And watch the videos touring Kalkaska. See what a sleepy community this is. And it's all cannabis. And if you know my story on cannabis, I don't need to say any more on that. Look, shortly after my appearance as prosecutor, federal prosecutor at the Kalkaska County Sheriff's Office in June 2021, shortly thereafter, by the 31st of July, the Kalkaska County prosecutor had resigned in the middle of his third term, the man who prosecuted me. Sometime shortly thereafter, keep in mind, sheriff wouldn't meet with me, undersheriff wouldn't meet with me, still won't meet with me, been dodging me all these years. They sent the jail sergeant out. Well, several months later, Kalkaska Sheriff's Department's moving all their inmates because they don't have any jail staff. You don't think Mike Bro had the God put in him, and you don't think Jail Sergeant Joe Leach had the fear of God put in him? And then it spread to the staff. How come the prosecutor didn't come after me, huh? Because he's powerless. Because he's an administrative fuck. And I'm no slave. So we need to educate the lower ones, and then they'll vacate. There's only seven people to get rid of here, and we the people own Kalkaska County. All right, the village police chief, the Kalkaska County sheriff and undersheriff, that's 3. The Kalkaska prosecutor, that's 4. Judge Lynn M. Boudet, that's 5. Deborah Hill, the county clerk, that's 6. And there is a 7th who will remain nameless for the moment. And so, like those postal employees, in their world, not mine. So, okay, let's clarify this. Let's go back to this federal, and me, subjecting yourself into that, that twisted mindset, right? No, absolutely not. You see, actually, from where I stand, The way I see it, those people, they're subject to 3 jurisdictions. Number one, they're subject to their own. So, like the Michigan man said, we got retired British agents coming out of retirement, and we have 16 indictments. So I'm just going to keep playing with British agents. They didn't do anything to free him, and they don't mind eating their own. So there's that system. There is the system of law, the superior court, the people's court. Do your research. The superior court is the people's court, the free court of law, open court, public record, truth and fact and justice. All right, that's the second jurisdiction. Then there's a third jurisdiction, military. Now, Executive Order 13818 is about the forfeiture of assets. Now, at some point, by law, through contract, in court, Kalkaska went under a $10,000 a day penalty / fine / whatever Babel term would most properly apply, retroactive to 2015. After continued gang stalking and so forth, that went to 20,000. And by all rights, I could have done it again and again because the gang stalking and the bullshit just continues to go on. However, that's not my objective. This is costing a lot of money. So rather than just keep doing the same paper shuffle and driving the number up, I want action. When these people vacate, they lose power. And when we, the people, step in, we take power. The T-Man said he's giving the power back to the people. I'm showing you how it's done. And I'm showing you because telling you doesn't work. You need to be shown. So I know that there's a couple of you who get it enough to say, I have been shown enough, Ethan, and I will be there. Everybody need to be shown. Even me. I had to conceptualize it and visualize it. I had to be shown, as you have the need to be shown. And then maybe we can sort through the babble and you can come to the realization that I, Ethan, you can call me Ethan, in quantum, Ethan -D, Dean. By ID number, I want to make sure I get this. I got so much in my mind, but I'll come back and make a correction if I got this wrong. How's that? RF 302-709-250 US. That's my ID. Where do I live? I live within the metes and bounds of a location. The militarized box is near me, close enough where I can access it. All right. I am the highest authority in Michigan State by law. I stepped into it. I'm to be held accountable for that. I'm responsible for that. I have been working diligently to expose the corruption. I am a whistleblower. I am an influencer. I'm an educator. I've had to educate myself on a lot of this stuff. If you knew who you were, how many times have I said that for those of you who follow me? If you knew who you were, none of this paperwork would be necessary. None of these videos would be necessary. And putting up posters in town right now isn't the time. No, after court, after 12 jurors, well, then they could be wanted posters, couldn't they? Yeah, they could. And in the video I talked about, and you can find in the description here, the new auditor who was just looking at public forums with his camera, and I could see tattoos on his arm. I couldn't see much else about the guy. Just a guy with a camera looking at forums. And Tyrant needs to know why he's there, what he's doing, and what his name is. And then it builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. And then eventually he pulls out a microphone. You want to know who I am? Like he's an undercover TV reporter, and they all run and scurry. That's what's going to happen here if you just come shine the light. So I do hold these powers. They're not very valuable to you if you don't own it by supporting it, by being here, by being witness, by being active, by asking questions, by getting the attention of the people in this little community of Kalkaska. And even I think it's the Record Eagle, the local rag. Maybe we get something published in there. But you got to be here. So I'm going to open up Superior Court, the People's Court, the Free Court, Court of Law. And I'm prosecutor. So I'm not on the jury. I'm not judge. Judge is referee. Hearing times are scheduled. It'll be recorded and documented. They have been served with evidence. With evidence. I don't know how they can rebut it. But they get their opportunity. And it's a speedy trial. All right? They get served on the 17th. Trial is July 31st. Anybody got any questions? Hey, Rebel. I'm glad you're here, brother. So, now if we want to talk about like the postal employees over there, I'm guessing they don't even know who to call, and they called the wrong one, and they certainly don't know their job, and they are the corporate slaves, not me. I am without the United States. Here's a register receipt, copy of the register receipt, copy of the firm book page, bonded. from the education I have in quantum contracting, whether the information I have is correct or not will be yet determined. But I am in study and perfecting, and I have been in the process of correcting all these wrongs. But this is the service, and just here by my finger, you can see that's my ID number. That is interchangeable with my name, which Keith Little, YouTube channel, El Puro and Hecklebus, did a very good job of educating us on. And that number is my contract where I established myself in contract via post, registered, and recorded. So now I own my authority. Now, on every one of these, the bottom line of from, you see 0000 in brackets. Well, the zeros are for the zip code, and the brackets by the Styles manual mean it's not there. And then it says without the United States. So from the past studies, I did work after work after work after work after work, and eventually put a mailer, call it example, template, or what have you, on the document section of the services page at oralhealthwithcannabis.com. And I know that at that point, that was putting my best foot forward. And there was some markings on there that I felt at this point was pertinent information for review in light of all that happened at the Kalkaska Post Office on the 17th of July, the year 2023. Now, this is all fiction, fraud, but that's their world, and that's what they live by. And again, 3 jurisdictions. 3. So we're talking specifically about this one. All right, this is for getting them to vacate. Getting them to vacate. So 18 USC, these are all 18 USC. So I'll just read the number and then what follows. 1341, frauds and swindles. I was there with regards to fraudulent mail. They just keep pushing and putting into my box. And foreign mail as U.S. mail, 1692. 1693, carriage of mail generally. How many of these are going to have an application to those? Well, I don't study this stuff, but I know that some of you do. And some of you, I'd be happy to look this stuff up and look into it. And so do. Because I say use every tool in the box against these parasites. And if it means, well, like I say, the ones that are just there doing their job, that don't know their job, well, they've been slave tricked just like the rest of us. So I'm talking about the vast majority. We know there's some that are placed there. We know there's some that are there. They're just absolutely there for all the fuckery. But a lot of the people aren't. They've just been dumbed down, brainwashed, and they have no clue. And so we reach them put the fear of God in them. Well, now things aren't good for upper management because there's all this turmoil, and that makes their life a mess, and they're already in panic. You know they are. So, and then the ones that figure out, hey, now everybody knows that I know. If I don't stop doing this, there's no salvation for me. Obstruction of mails generally. Obstruction of, 1701, obstruction of mails generally. 1702, obstruction of correspondence. 1703, delay or destruction of mail. Delay or destruction of mail. Theft or receipt of stolen mail. Postage collected on, all right, I'm sorry. 1703, delay or destruction of mail. 1708, theft or receipt of stolen mail. 1726, postage collected unlawfully. Now you can find this on that mailer example in the document section on the services page. So we learned a lot, and I'm still learning. I am. That's the amazing thing about this, and we keep getting stronger, and they have to be those that know. And like I said, the other video, did Derek Johnson stutter? Did he? Did he stutter when he says they know all the way down to the county level? And for you people just waking up to martial law, you know, you're thinking this is some white hat thing, you know, probably, you know, initiated somewhere around the time of, you know, just previous to the T-Man entry into the stage. Well, people, look, I think it was 1999. The corporate United States of America had its third and final bankruptcy. I heard martial law since 2001. That would explain a lot of the destruction of America between 2001 and 2016, wouldn't it? So I'm not saying there ain't a white hat military alliance, and there's call it one martial law or one facet of martial law or one power in this martial law. And that's why this is such a misinformation campaign, disinformation campaign. And you've all been babbled to death, dumbed down, toxified, lied to your entire lives. So it's really hard to get you to wake up and own your authority and know who you are. And I can tell you, and I can post and post and post and post and post and post and post, but I got to show you. So I think I've shown enough of you, enough that you can be here on the 31st of July and own your authority. And that will show others how to own their authority. There's only 7 people in the village of Kalkaska that need to be run off for us to own Kalkaska and make Kalkaska a free public in reconstitution. All right. All right. Giddy up. Hi, everybody. Rebel, thanks for tuning in. Rebel, thanks for everything. Bless you. Blessings on you and yours. Blessings on everyone. All right. Much love, everybody. I will be back.